Lakers are 12-8 through the first 20 games of the season. 12-8. All right, 12-8. Gotta be honest with you. If before the season started, they got to win yesterday against the Utah Jazz. Escaped against Utah. Did not look good, by the way. There were moments. I think they were up 8 or 9 with 5-6 minutes left, something along those lines. And that lead evaporated before you even know what the hell happened. They won the game. It ran their record to 12-8. They got a second of a back-to-back tonight against Minnesota. But I just want to focus real quick on the first 20 games of the Lakers season. It's the quarter mark. So when you think of in the NBA, there's usually I think certain games that you get to, certain meters that you get to, where you can start looking at your team and have a pretty good idea of what they are. I think the first 20 games is the first time you could look at your squad and actually say, I have a pretty good idea what the Lakers are. I have a pretty good idea what the Minnesota Timberwolves are at this point. I have a pretty good idea what the Oklahoma City Thunder are, or the Boston Celtics, or the Cleveland Cavaliers. Most teams out there, you got that first milestone that you get to is the first 20 games. 25% of the season, a quarter of the season is now done. Lakers are sitting at 12-8. They're number 6 in the Western Conference. I was mentioning this last night in the post-game show, and I knew this morning I was going to be talking about this, and I was going to spend a little bit more time on it. But if you'd have told me, and I think for most Laker fans out there, if you would have said 12-8 through the first 20, number 6 in the Western Conference, I didn't tell you anything else. I just said 12-8 through the first 20, number 6 in the Western Conference. I don't know many Laker fans that would have said, not good enough. I don't. And I don't think there'd be many Laker fans that would say not good enough for multiple reasons. You had a lot of question marks coming into the season. All right, Lakers really didn't make any trades. They didn't make any moves in the offseason. The only player that, we're talking about is Dalton Knecht being drafted at number 17. Okay, yeah, but he's a rookie. How long is it going to take for this guy to be able to put his fingerprints on this Lakers roster? It might take 2, 3, 4 years. I mean, hell, what was it? Jalen Hood-Schifino went at number 17. Max Christie, Maxwell Lewis. They got other guys that Lakers have drafted over the last couple of years. None of these guys have had a real impact. You were questioning J.J. Redick and saying, okay, the first time this guy's ever been a head coach, that's going to take time. LeBron's going to be 39. We had a lot of question marks going into the season. 12-8, number 6 in the Western Conference. I'll take both of those through the first 20 games. If the playoffs started today, you avoided the play-in tournament, which everybody's, hoping and praying the Lakers do. And a 12-8 record tells me that, all right, I can roll with that. Lakers must have done some things that were really, really good. Let me kind of break down for everybody. Here are some of the good things that happened through the first 20 games. Here are some of the things I think you could look at if you're a Laker fan and feel comfortable about. I think the number one story through the first 20 games has been Dalton Knecht. He's been the number one story. He's real deal. Last night was the first game since Dalton Knecht has been a Laker and since he was drafted where I can comfortably say he didn't play well. He just didn't have a good game. And there's no sugarcoating it. Just didn't play well. He played 30-plus minutes, no Austin Reeves, no D'Angelo Russell. You thought, hey, this is a game Dalton Knecht's going to get a ton of shots. He's going to be phenomenal. That wasn't the case. Utah obviously focused a lot on him. But I can't think of another game where Dalton Knecht hasn't been productive. Certainly as a starter, he's been phenomenal. I think he's been the best storyline that the Lakers have had all season long has been Dalton Knecht. And I don't even really think it's close. I think if you're talking about individual play, I think if you're talking about a specific player on this team, a rookie, Dalton Knecht, through the first 20 games, to me, he's been the biggest bright spot. Okay, some other bright spots so far through the first 20 games. AD's been a beast. Has he had some games? Sure, but AD's been a beast. I mean, you go look at his numbers, his production night in and night out. Anthony Davis has been phenomenal. And if anyone, wants to bitch and complain about Anthony Davis, save your energy, save it for some other players that are on this team because there's other players that you could be complaining about. Bron's still doing it. Is he doing it the same way he was doing it at age 28? Of course not. He's 39. He's about to turn 40. And there are nights that he looks like he's about to turn 40, but there are also nights he's still dropping 14 assists. He's still giving you 15 rebounds. There's still nights where he's giving you 25 plus points. You're getting a little bit of everything from LeBron this year, but for the most part, LeBron is still doing it and still getting those stats. Okay, let me give you another positive so far this year. JJ Redick looks like he's going to be a real coach for years to come in the NBA. You know, I remember saying this. I remember saying it early on. Early on, I talked about how no matter what, JJ kind of can do whatever the hell he wants. He could do whatever the hell he wants. First off, I think he's a common sense coach. He doesn't have to overthink things. He's kind of approaching each game. Hey, that's working. Let's roll with that. That's not working. Let's move on from that. This starter, no, I want to change that. I want to switch this out. There are a lot of things I think so far JJ Redick has just kind of very simply put, has been able to, let's say, just kind of calm the waters when it comes to, is this the right coach or is he not? JJ Redick also knows that he's going to be the coach for the Lakers well beyond most of these players are. So he doesn't have to worry about D'Angelo Russell's emotions, or he doesn't have to worry about, am I hurting Gabe Vincent's feeling? Or he doesn't have to worry about any of that stuff. The front office, the last thing they want to do is recycle another coach after 2 years. It's his first year coaching, and he looks like he knows what he's doing. So there's another positive that I would say. So I would say through the first 20 games of the year, 25% through the season, the positives for me is your record is solid, 12-8. Your place in the Western Conference is number 6. I think most people like that. Dalton Knecht is an absolute stud and is something that the Lakers haven't had for years, a real shooter, but he's more than just a shooter. He's just a rookie, and he's only going to get better as the season progresses. Anthony Davis, solid. LeBron still doing his thing, and JJ Redick looks like he's a coach for years to come. Those are the positives through the first 20 games. Now, here are the things that I would tell you would be my concern as we get to this benchmark of 25% through the season. I don't feel any better about D'Angelo Russell, Rui Hachimura, or Gabe Vincent. Those 3 guys, if you thought coming into the season, hey, is D'Lo going to be able to really be a contributor this year? And do you feel confident every single night that D'Lo goes out there? I feel good about what D'Lo is going to bring. I don't feel that way. If you do, awesome. I don't feel that way. My opinion really hasn't changed on D'Angelo Russell. I still think he's a player that the Lakers are going to try to shop around. And I still think that if they're going to go make a real run, they got to use a contract like D'Lo, some of these other contracts, a couple draft picks to go try to get another player that's going to help them this year. Rui Hachimura, he was out for a little bit, back in for a little bit. He's another player that I have no idea what Rui's going to bring night in and night out. If we thought he was going to take a leap this year, I haven't seen it yet. Sometimes we see moments, but for the most part, he's consistently been average to below average. Gabe Vincent. Gabe, every single night, after every game, you look at it, and last year he had the injuries, so you were waiting for him to come in this year. And where's that dude that was in Miami? Where's that guy that playing under Eric Spoelstra and Pat Riley and that Heat culture? Man, he's going to bring something to the Lakers night in, night out. That guy's going to be a dog. He's going to hit open shots. He's going to be able to spread the floor. I mean, hell, look how productive he was in that year that the Miami Heat got to the NBA Finals. They beat the Boston Celtics. He's going to be phenomenal. I don't know where that dude is, but he has not showed up yet in a Los Angeles Laker jersey. So those 3 players specifically, I'm identifying because those are guys that you felt like would be more consistent as contributors. I haven't seen it this year from those 3 players through the first quarter mark of the season. Jared Vanderbilt is still out. We still have not seen Jared Vanderbilt play a game for the Los Angeles Lakers this year. We know how much time. He hasn't played since February 1st, 2024. We're not that much longer to turn in the calendar year, and this guy's already been out for 10 months. Listen, it's not his fault. Injuries are injuries. I don't know the full backstory. I know he's had the surgeries and everything else, but that is a portion through the first quarter of the season. If you'd have told me once we got to the offseason that Jared Vanderbilt still hasn't played a game for a Laker, that would certainly be concerning. Okay, let's kind of keep going down the list. Some other stuff that are concerning through the first 20 games of the season. They're trending in the wrong direction. They're 2-4 in their last 6 games. That they got off to a 10-4 start. Again, if I told you blindly they're 12-8, 6 in the West, you're taking that all day long. But how they got there is interesting. They jumped out the gate 10-4. Everybody felt really good about that. And then you're playing a game against the Orlando Magic at home, and you're like, oh, this is great. You got Orlando, one of the best young players, and Paolo Banchero isn't playing in that game. And the Lakers have they put themselves in, they're about to go 11-4. They lose that game for some miscues at the end. They follow that up with a blowout loss against the Denver Nuggets. They follow that up with a blowout loss against the Phoenix Suns. And before you know it, they're 2-4 in their last 6 games. They're trending in a direction that doesn't look nearly as positive as it did maybe 2 weeks ago. And then the last thing that I'll mention about the 25% through the season that is a concern for me, the barometer games that I love looking at. The barometer games of, okay, that's a team you're going to face in the playoffs. All right, that's a star along with the rest of his squad. That's going to be an issue all season long. How do you look against those teams? Well, just in the last week and a half or so, you got blown out by Denver, who didn't have Aaron Gordon. You got blown out against the Phoenix Suns. At one point, you were down 29 to Denver. At one point, you were down 30 to the Phoenix Suns. And that's their first game back with KD and Bradley Beal. And then against the Oklahoma City Thunder, you played them at home. And without Alex Caruso and without, who else were they missing? Chet Holmgren. Without 2 really key pieces to the Oklahoma City Thunder, you lost that game as well. The barometer games have not gone the Lakers' way. So through the first quarter of the season, the best assessment that I can make on the Lakers is I'll take the 12-8 record. I'll take the number 6 in the Western Conference. But I'm also very cautious with this team because I don't think they're trending in the right direction. I don't think they're trending. I was given this example last night. Okay, if they're a stock right now, you're looking at their stock, you're asking yourself, is that stock on its way up or is that stock on the way down? Did that stock already kind of shoot up in the beginning? It feels like the Lakers shot up in the beginning and now they're coming back. That average is starting to take over and they're starting to go down a little bit. So I'll take the 12-8, like I mentioned. I'll take the number 6 in the Western Conference, but there are some things that are a little bit concerning when it comes to this Lakers team, and specifically, like I said, the direction that they're heading in.